Well, let's welcome on board Bharat Madan, the Group Financial Controller at Escorts, and try and understand how the monthly sales were and what is it that we can expect going forward. Bharat, hi, morning. How was February as a month in terms of your auto sales, and do you think the growth momentum in February, is that going to continue going forward too?
Yeah, I think you've seen the month of February went very strong. We saw almost 53% growth in the tractor domestic volume. And this has come on the back of January, which was again a very strong one with about 45% growth. So we're seeing very good traction in this quarter, and we expect the numbers probably will continue. So we have already indicated a guidance of 20 to 30% growth for the industry in this quarter for the tractor businesses. And we expect it will probably give a positive surprise to that.
Okay. Tell me about what is Escort's strategy of setting up different dealerships and farm track and power track brands as well. And how is it going to aid growth for you going forward?
As you know, so we got two brands under which we are operating, so PowerTrack and FarmTrack branding, and both the brands are strong in certain segments of the market. So in the northern and central area, which are our stronger markets, there are three states where one brand is strong, and there are another three states where the second brand is pretty strong. So what we are looking at is creating a parallel channel network for both the brands so that we get really representation across all the states, even in the stronger market, for both the brands equally. So we think the strategy will help us in really increasing our volumes and getting some market share. And we've seen it happening in the past in certain states where we've really seen it's getting successful. And we think that in the future also this will work well for us.
Bharat, you are aiming to become the #2 player in tractor segment by 2022 and more than double your revenues as well, as we understand. Is it the macro tailwinds that's prompted such an aggressive target, or are you betting on structural and operational changes taking place within the company to aid that kind of up move?
I think it's a bit of combination of all the factors. If you look at the last few years, company has been investing a lot in its product portfolio. So now we think we've got a very strong portfolio in place, which is, I think, good enough to cater to any geography or any application on a pan-India basis. So we think this is the right time. I think the industry is booming. We see the next few years should be very good for all the sectors in which we are present. And if not now, then when? So I think that's the question with the management had. So we think it's the right time for me to go aggressive and really push for where, which is the rightful market share which we belong to.
Okay. What is your understanding of the inventory built up? Is this large growth coming because of inventory built up, or inventory at the dealer level is pretty decent?
Not at all. In fact, the inventory levels are at one of the lowest level today with the dealers at the channel. So we don't even expect. So this is very strong retail sales which are actually driving this demand. So there's no build up happening at the channel end. It's only some correction which has happened in the last few months.
Where is this optimism at retail level coming from? Is this largely because they expect that the crop is going to be strong, or interest rates are low? Because this kind of growth, it's great to see growth, but why growth has changed so much in last 12 months?
I think again it's a combination of 2-3 factors. But obviously, like you said, the season is pretty strong, so the kharif harvest we expect to be good. The prices of certain crops like sugarcane, cotton, etc. are also strong, which is also leading to good money in the hands of the farmer. And third, I think as you look at the government policies, so you're seeing many governments, especially in the south and the western regions, are actually resorting to the subsidy program, probably moving into the election year. Probably this one strategy, I think, which is playing out. So I think these are the factors which are driving demand today. So even in the February month, you see the very strong growth coming in from the southern and western market, which are actually not very strong market for us. But almost 54% growth has happened actually in the opportunity market for us compared to 27% in a stronger market in northern and central India.
If interest rates they move higher, and if they move higher by let's say 75 bips or 1% in next 12,
we don't expect there'll be much really impact on the tractor demand because of the movement of interest rate. There will be obviously some impact which will be there, but as it is, you look, there's a lot of shift happening from the public sector bank, which are the very low interest scenario financing, to the private banks and industry, which normally charge high rate. So today, I think the PSU share in our financing has gone down to 20%, which used to be 60% 5-6 years ago. So I think the shift is already happening. So that's not really the interest factor alone which is driving the really shift. A lot of other factors in terms of the turnaround time which is there in terms of what security is being offered and how quick and cash flow flexibility the EMI repayments are being offered. I think these factors are playing a much larger role. So I don't think really interest increase by 70, 80 basis points is going to really have significant effect on the industry demand.
A large part, Bharat, of the country is still open to expansion for Escorts agri equipment. Tell us, how is it that you plan to scale up your market share and presence in these opportunity areas? And do you plan to take the discounting route to up your volumes and market share? Or is it that you're considering a more profitable and sustainable strategy?
I think the company focus will be more in terms of growing profitabilities. We don't think discount strategy is going to really help in growing. So this is a very short-term view which probably the company will have to take for that. So we don't think that's the strategy which company is going to adopt. So we are looking for a profitable and viable, sustainable growth going forward. So for the demand factor, like you said, since we have got two brands and we are looking at the networking, parallel network creation for both the brands in the stronger market. And in the opportunity market, obviously, a lot of focus is on channel expansion as of now. And as we said, since we launched the products which earlier were not there actually to meet the portfolio required for the southern and western market, now with our compact tractor series and the new price tractor which we are expecting to launch, will fulfill that gap. So now we expect having our application front, the product gaps will be fulfilled, will be rightly positioned compared to the competition, and with a good channel in place. We think we got a good opportunity really to grow in the store or weaker market also now.
Okay. All right, Bharat, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. 62 points up for the Nifty. The Bank Nifty is looking decent, so we are off to a good start. But are we in for a good close? Because this market is not going to go